Hello everyone, this is Spencer and uh, this is a development log for my Java program. So the program that I made is called Ciel. Ciel is a 2D game about a kid named Ciel who learns to develop skills such as gardening. The purpose of this software was for me to understand and learn Java and object-oriented programming, and I decided to at first, the thought was to make tutorials, but I decided ended up making a game because games are mostly programmed in an object-oriented manner. Most of the code here came from a tutorial by RyiSnow on YouTube. Over here, this guy. So I'm not stealing any credits. Most of the things were set up based from his tutorial. Everything's on this entity class, and then this player class is a subclass of that entity, and this is the main folder where it has the key handler class, everything else, but I'll show the program first so you have an idea what the program is. So if we can build it right now. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's on this page. Okay, there we go. So this is a game. I created all the sprites, all the assets, and even the world. So this game you can explore around. It's a mix of Pokemon, and I made the game to be like gardening game where you can change stuff. So the world was made by me, but it came from the tutorial as well. But I wrote it in a text file, and it's all being read from this folder, class here called Tile Manager. But there we create a class that gets the image of all the assets, but the tile manager here draws everything. It gets the tile image first, and I named it the grass floor. So whenever the user or the player knows what's in front of him, and it loads map through this function by reading an input stream from a file, and the file looks like this. If I can find it, there you go. It's a text file of ones and zero, 1, 2, 3, 4, and number 4 represents trees, and basically that's how it works. So the collision was made from the tutorial as well. Basically, it calculates the hitbox of the player from on this class. It has a hitbox called solid area, and basically it checks the position and then checks the object through this collision checker class. It always checks it. And the additional feature that I added on this one from the tutorial was it can determine which block is in front of the player depending on the direction. And another feature that I added was the objects. The objects that he created were a key, but I made different objects, which we can see here: a bucket, a pickaxe, and a shovel. Every time you pick, I designed the game where you can only pick up one item at a time. And if you pick right now the shovel, there's no assets. It doesn't show that you have it right now, but you have it. If you press G, you drop the item. That's one thing I'm working on. Is when you drop it, it will be in front of you instead of the original position. So let's get this pickaxe. As you can see, the guy has a Seal has the pickaxe, and then we'll drop it again. And then this is the cool thing, the bucket. So the bucket, you can get water from it. Like I said a while ago, when the collision checker, I added a feature where the player can tell what tile is in front of him. Like for this one, fetching water on the console, and there you go, he has the water already when you press space. And if you want to use the alternate function of the item, you just press enter, which basically uses the water. Press space again, enter, space, enter. And mostly that's everything from my game. The game was created from scratch without any frameworks. And here are all the assets that I created by myself, which I researched about how to make assets. And here are all the objects. This is the superclass of all the objects. It keeps track of its position with the world X and world Y. And you can set this one to true if you want them to have a collision with the, one second, with the player. Like on this class object setter, you can set the position. And that's all of my software for that's all of my software for development log number 1. Some of the improvements that I want to do is to add sounds and figure out a way that I can update the map through player interactions. So right now it only draws everything from game panel. Game panel only draws player right now. So I want to be able to figure that out and add username interface and a class, an inventory class for the player, so it keeps track of all the items that the player has. And that's everything. Thank you.